Tell me what makes this model unique and why.
Well, this model is based on the Ducati Diavel V4, which is a spectacular motorcycle in itself, because the original design of the Diavel V4, it actually comes from kind of a blend of three different designs. And out of these 500 units, just to give you an idea, the demand has been so high, even though we just announced it today, that before the announcement, we have already sold out of our entire production. And I love just eating a taco on the side of the street without any pretentiousness. And it's just a spectacular experience.
How do Latinos discover Ducati?
Well, this is great because in the local markets, we're represented very, very well. As an example, here at Ducati Miami, our owner is actually originally from Venezuela. So he makes sure that, especially in, let's say, international markets, that the brand is accessible to our international clients.
El día de hoy está dedicado para los amantes de la velocidad, de las motocicletas, pero también para aquellos que quieren conocer la colaboración entre dos marcas de lujo, Bentley y Ducati. Y para eso me acompaña el presidente de Norteamérica, Ducati, Jason Chinnock. Thank you very much for having us and taking time out of your hectic agenda.
It's a pleasure for us to be able to sit down and talk and share this exciting experience that we have today.
First collaboration ever.
No, actually, Ducati has had many collaborations.
But with Bentley.
First collaboration with Bentley, absolutely. Very exciting opportunity for us because our global CEOs actually met together some years ago and realized that we actually share a lot of the same common values and interests as a brand. And we thought, well, if we're so close in terms of our values, then maybe we can come up with a collaboration, a very exclusive and beautiful product.
Tell me what makes this model unique and why.
Well, this model is based on the Ducati Diavel V4, which is a spectacular motorcycle in itself, because the original design of the Diavel V4, it actually comes from kind of a blend of three different designs. The sport bike, or the super bike that people know Ducati for, the naked motorcycle, which is like the roadster of the Ducati Monster, but then we brought in some design elements of an American cruiser to create something that's completely unique for the entire industry. And then when we sat down with Bentley, we were inspired by the Bentley Voiture, which is just a spectacular car that is really the pinnacle in the future of design for Bentley. It gives a look into the future, and we thought, what better way for us to take those elements of their design and this incredible platform and find a way to bring them together.
So based on what you have described to me, the first word that comes to mind is exclusiveness. How do you convey this to the Hispanic community?
Well, Ducati itself has actually always been perceived as an aspirational brand. So as opposed to being a brand that's so exclusive, the nature of that word, you think it means to exclude people. But the reality is that people aspire to join our brand. They desire to be part of it. And we provide access to the brand to give people an opportunity to do that. But we also do reserve, especially in the production of a motorcycle like this, a very limited production units that's done for the world, because it's also something special. And we want to make sure when somebody sees this, it's like seeing a unicorn. Yeah. You know, you don't see it on every corner, and if you see it, it's something that it evokes an emotion to get you excited about not only motorcycling, but the brands that work together on this. So it's okay to dream, and we want people to feel as though that they can dream and aspire to be part of this family.
How many of the new model have been produced?
So of the Diavel for Bentley, we've produced a total production run of 500 units for the world. And out of these 500 units, just to give you an idea, the demand has been so high, even though we just announced it today, that before the announcement, we have already sold out of our entire production for North America. Even then, we are doing a very special version of this, of the Diavel for Bentley, the Mulliner edition, which allows 50 Bentley clients, exclusively reserved for them, to customize the bike from paint and color and trim to make it their own and even to potentially match their Bentley at home.
Jason, ¿y hay planes de producir más o solamente se van a quedar con los 500?
We have no plans to produce more. When we finish this production of this model, it's done. And it's one of those.
And it's already sold out.
And it's already sold out, so it's not like we need to sell more. But also it's important for us because we want people to feel confident when they're buying a motorcycle like this, that it retains its value. And this is something, while I wouldn't look at it as an investment, it's definitely something that people will want to hold on to and to share with their friends as well.
It's an experience. That's how I would describe it. Como estamos hablando de Latinoamérica, me gustaría preguntarte ¿cuál es el mercado más grande que en la actualidad tiene Ducati?
The biggest Latin American market for Ducati right now is Mexico, which we're responsible for Mexico as being part of Ducati Norteamérica. And not too far behind that is also Brazil, which we definitely have.
Doesn't surprise me, by the way, because of the population.
The population, but we also have a very strong presence in Brazil that's been growing. And we expect that this is going to be our best year ever for Brazil.
Oh.
And one of my close colleagues, Daniel, is responsible for the market down there. And he's doing great things, which is excellent for us to see our brand expand outside of Europe and North America into both Central and South America.
How big, ¿qué tan grande es el mercado latinoamericano para Ducati en estos momentos?
So I don't know. I don't know the total size.
Any plans to keep expanding in Latin America?
We definitely will continue to expand in Latin America. We've seen great growth in Mexico over the years. And as we see some of the other countries as well, when Ducati gets to a certain point of threshold, we see opportunity to grow. But also we have many new products that have been in development over the years. For example, motorcycles like the Multistrada or the Desert X, which are excellent motorcycles for that terrain. And in fact,
True.
there are opportunities of riding motorcycles that I always embrace when given the chance. And my motorcycle of choice in those environments, because let's say the roads aren't always smooth as silk, and these motorcycles embrace that. They actually love having that kind of experience. And so I think as our product evolves, we'll also see the ability to reach more people.
And what's the best-selling model
Globally, the Multistrada is the best-selling model.
in Latin
for us.
America?
Without question, the best-selling model is the Multistrada in Latin America.
Interesting. Have you ever been to Latin America?
Oh yes, I've actually spent a little bit of time mostly in Mexico. I spend probably 4 or 5 times a year for the last 13 years.
¿Dónde en México?
Everywhere. I spend my time everywhere. In fact, outside of the obvious places like Mexico City, we host a ride there every year called the Mar Cielo, where we go from the beach up to the clouds to some of the highest mountains. And for me, it's amazing because not only do I get to ride with all of these passionate clients of ours, but I also get to experience the real backcountry roads and villages of Mexico. But on my short list is Patagonia.
Oh, Patagonia.
That's the next place that I want to visit. I mean,
Never been there?
never been there.
But it's on your bucket list.
It's on the list. In fact, my colleague from Brazil keeps telling me, when you're ready, he's going to be my tour guide.
There we go. And
and
if you ever plan to go to Peru, I can be your tour person.
Perfect. It's good to have a local, always.
Absolutely. Me has dicho que has estado en Latinoamérica, que te gusta México, que te encantaría visitar la Patagonia. Te voy a hacer unas cuantas preguntas para ver qué tanto conoces de la cultura latinoamericana. ¿Cuál es tu plato favorito latinoamericano o comida favorita?
That's very difficult because as I continue to experience more, I think it changes.
But right now, let's focus on the present.
Right now, I would say, without doubt, tacos al pastor.
Tacos al pastor, there we go, Mexico.
I love the entire experience. I love the history behind al pastor, and I love just eating a taco on the side of the street without any pretentiousness, and it's just a spectacular experience. And it's not just the taco; it's the entire environment that comes with that as well. But
And I couldn't agree more with you, Jason. And sorry for the interruption, because I do love Mexico. I'm not Mexican, but I love the culture, the heritage. There's so much to see in that wonderful country. And every time that I have a taco here, the experience is complete. You actually get to feel the experience differently in Mexico compared to the US.
It's not.
Wouldn't
even
you
close.
agree?
Yes, I mean it's an interesting thing that I am always on the eternal hunt for the perfect tacos al pastor in the U.S. I will never find it because there's something that's beyond the food. It's the ambiance, it's the smell, it's the noise, it's everything surrounding it adds to that
Do
experience.
you like tequila?
Of course, prefer mezcal.
Oh, mezcal.
mezcal,
Okay, él dice que le gusta el mezcal. Bueno, a mí también me gusta. What's your favorite word in Spanish?
My favorite word? Qué lástima.
Qué lástima.
Qué lástima.
Qué lástima. Why?
I love the way it sounds, and it's fun to say, but it's just too bad.
Especially when it comes from a Mexican person.
Qué lástima. Too bad.
Qué lástima. What's your favorite Latino actor or actress?
That's easy. Salma Hayek.
Oh, Mexico. You truly love Mexico.
She is just elegant and beautiful, and
What's your favorite movie?
like a good wine.
Good.
She's aged with beauty. Got even more beautiful. I mean, I love obviously a lot of the things that she's ended up doing with Quentin Tarantino. As an example, because her character is just badass and a strong, confident, sexy Latino woman. It's just it doesn't get any better.
What's the best performing market here in the U.S.?
For the U.S., the number one market for us is California. You would expect.
Florida?
But Florida comes a close second, and then next is New York, the greater New York City area. So being in Florida, obviously there's great year-round riding, and that's very similar to that of California for us as well. The beauty about California is that we have spectacular roads to ride. Very twisty roads through the mountains and through the valleys up along the coast. So the riding is very conducive to our motorcycles as well.
Jason, so Ducati is an Italian brand. You run North America. How do Latinos discover Ducati?
Well, this is great because in the local markets, we're represented very, very well. As an example, here in Ducati Miami, our owner is actually originally from Venezuela. So he makes sure that, especially in, let's say, international markets, that the brand is accessible to our international clients. All of our communications are actually translated into multiple languages. So everyone can have access to the brand, whether you want it in Spanish or in English or in French or Italian. You can have access to that.
Love it.
But also the dealerships, like I said, reflect the community. And that's a very important part of what they do, is that they're able to reflect the audience that's here. And especially in Miami, as an example, the multiple languages that our local dealer not only speaks, but his team speaks, really can adapt to the local market.
I know that you are also into music, and correct me if I'm wrong. So what's your favorite musician?
That's another difficult question, like what's my favorite food? Music is so personal, and also it's one of those things that it depends on the day. It depends on the mood. Some days I want something that's maybe a little bit more somber or quiet, and other days I like things that are high.
What did you
energy.
play this morning while you were driving?
When I played this morning was a band called The Smile.
The Smile, okay.
The Smile, which is just a beautiful band of a couple guys that were in the band Radiohead. And it's very peaceful, yet complex and intelligent to listen to. It makes me feel smart when I'm listening to it. But then it just puts me in a very polite, good mood. But then when I want to, let's say, go ride a motorcycle, I'll listen to something very, very heavy, like High on Fire, which is metal. So it really, I will...
Totally different.
Totally different.
Totally different.
That's the beauty of music, is that you can get into those different moods through the different things that you choose to listen to.
Jason, what does it take to be the president of such a well-known brand?
It takes a passionate professional. And this is a good balance. It's very important, because if I was just doing a good job of business, it's not enough for a brand like us. We need to love what we do. And I hope that's communicated, that I'm very fortunate to be able to love what I do, to be able to ride, in my opinion, the most beautiful and incredible performing motorcycles in the world and represent this to the public. And for me, when I appreciate something like that, I want to bring people in. It's that inclusivity we talked about earlier. I want to include them in my own love and joy for the brand. And I hope that the more experiences we give people, we get them a chance to come closer to who we are.
Well, thank you so much, Jason, for taking time out of your hectic agenda.
Thank you very much, and it was a pleasure.
My pleasure. Take care.